I already went over one ending in the last video I made about the full story of the game, so if you haven't watched it already, give it a watch to catch up to this video. Just as a very quick summary, in the game, we assume the role of Arnold, an overworked technician working for the Fazbear Entertainment. Just on his way home, he gets instructed to collect some confidential items from a third-party company whose owner has disappeared. As Arnold enters the building known as Moray's Costume Manor, or MCM, he is stalked and hunted by a terrifying animatronic known as Mimic. The dispatch team from Fazbear Entertainment only then reveal that they want the original schematics of this animatronic by the creator. Their ambition and goals are not clear, but because this animatronic is so intelligent, they clearly want to obtain that cutting-edge technology. In my last video, I went over an ending where Arnold refuses to hand in the schematics and a special equipment that he took with himself called the Data Diver after the dispatch requests it. We only later learned this horrifying animatronic mimicked the voice of the dispatch team to trick Arnold into turning in such a critical equipment in order to help it communicate with the outside world and much more, even managing to infiltrate into the Fazbear system. When we refuse to do this, at the very end, this doesn't change much of the outcome, as Mimic clings onto Arnold's van and crashes it, with Arnold dying in the car fire, while the Mimic steals the Data Diver from him. Mimic's intentions for getting the Data Diver is not fully clear, but as we know from games such as Security Breach and its DLC, Ruins, Mimic manages to hack the Fazbear system and even lure a child to the basement of what will be known as Pizza Place in the place of MCM, where he would try to attack and kill her. And of course I'm talking about the protagonist of the Ruins DLC, Cassie. So far, we know Mimic is violent and extremely impressionable, as it was created to mimic people's behaviors. Unfortunately, the last behavior he witnessed was its creator's, Edwin Moray, disassembling it in a fit of rage. Also, as Mimic witnessed the behaviors of Edwin Moray for years, and as evident from an audio log, it seems Mimic copied the personality and behaviors of Edwin, wanting to continue his legacy and rebuild the Moray Costume Manor and continue on building more animatronics. This would mean stuffing endoskeletons into costumes and suits, something that Mimic does to all the technicians that get sent to the manor. So maybe Mimic doesn't want to run away at all, he just wants more equipment and more technology in order to continue Edwin's work.
Test. Journal entry. Too bad the new power test was a failure. Due to a minor detonation, there is damage to my office interior, as well as a small fire. Note to self, portable cleaner that gets rid of smoke damage. Better yet, a Cleanovac attachment. No! Engine! Response! Emergency! Code for help! Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play?
Now moving on to an alternate ending, when we hand in the Data Diver into the inventory in the security office. As Mimic pretending to be the dispatch's demands, Mimic congratulates Arnold for doing such a good job and informs him to head out where his van is parked, as it will open the doors for him, considering that Mimic now has the Data Diver in his possession, able to use the Fazbear system. As Arnold gets into his van, a concerned dispatch team tunes in, explaining that they have been trying to get a hold of Arnold all night, which displays as soon as Arnold entered the manor, his communications with the dispatch team was lost, and it was Mimic copying their voices, instructing Arnold to run around and do errands. Dispatch explains due to lack of performance, Fazbear has no other choice but to fire Arnold. Arnold, shocked and confused to what he is hearing, pleads with them that he did what they asked of him, and he has been in constant contact, even turning in the data diver as they asked. This infuriates the dispatch, accusing Arnold of losing or stealing Fazbear property, threatening him that their lawyers will contact him.
We've been trying to get a hold of you all night. Why didn't you answer? Fazbear Entertainment has no other option but to let you go.
What? I just talked to you. You told me to give you the data diver and I could go home.
So you admit it? You misplaced company property.
No, I gave it to you.
Fazbear Entertainment will hold you personally responsible for lost or stolen property. What did you expect would happen?
I did everything you told me to.
Don't call us. Our lawyers will be calling you.
As soon as the phone call is cut off, a crying, confused and overworked Arnold, who doesn't understand what he did wrong, hears a sound from behind the car, turning around just to see Mimic being there, attacking him and knocking him out. As soon as Arnold wakes up, he finds himself trapped inside the spraying animatronic suit, trapped to serve as an animatronic in the dark and dilapidated sister location, Pizzeria. So maybe the first ending was the better ending, as at least Arnold loses his life in there and doesn't have to be trapped, stuffed for the rest of his life. And of course Mimic has done that to many other technicians, and as we see even in one of the dialogues, admitting that it has stuffed a lot of other technicians in different suits. And he does it because he is mimicking Edwin, someone who was working on suits and costumes, and possibly stuffed a lot of endoskeletons into different costumes. Now there is a secret ending which can be achieved through completing certain tasks and finding a white tiger doll, which we can tell for certain was David's favorite toy. Through this ending, we discover something truly horrifying. Going into David's bedroom, we come across an electronic storybook. In the closet, we see Mimic hiding, as if preying on the protagonist, waiting for the right time to strike. Fiona, who we learned to be nothing but a machine, containing the memories of Edwin's late wife, speaks in an endearing manner, addressing David as her own son.
David? Where's David? Come out, wherever you are. There you are.
Do you remember how our story begins? Once upon a time.
And because she had the memories of Edwin's late wife, she was essentially her, being a clone of her, seeing David as her own son, despite being a machine. That's when all of a sudden Mimic comes out of the closet, acting shy and scared, slowly approaching the protagonist and the storybook. Mimic fully has transformed, even getting smaller in stature and height, perfectly mimicking David's mannerism and behavior, pretending to be him and how he used to be. This horrifying discovery displays how Mimic not only was created to be a plaything or a nanny for David, but it ultimately acted as Edwin's late wife, becoming Fiona, and then eventually it started mimicking David, and that is why Edwin lost his temper and disassembled it. Then, after Edwin gets hurt somehow, Mimic even copies Edwin's mannerism. It clearly shows that Mimic wasn't inherently an evil and hostile animatronic or endoskeleton, but it picked up on the violence Edwin showed it, whilst the story of the book automatically plays through the pre-recorded voices of Edwin and Fiona. Mimic struggles between being David and the hostile robot that it is, struggling to attack Arnold, or essentially because Mimic is just a husk mimicking and copying the mannerism of the people around it. We can say he's a hostile version of Edwin. Eventually, when the story comes to an end, Mimic gets incapacitated temporarily. This gives Arnold enough time to use the data diver and recalibrate Mimic to become like David, having its mannerism. The pre-recorded voices instruct David to go to bed, and as Mimic does that, that, just before it sleeps, it says "I love you" with a childlike voice copying David's voice. So it's not even clear if Edwin lost David or not, and as a result programmed Mimic to even copy him, acting as David, the child that he once had. There's still so much mystery in the story and endings, which I will dive deeper in the later videos and will come up with more theories and ideas. So far, we know Edwin developed two versions of the Mimic, M1 and M2. Previously, I thought Fiona was M1, the machine which was F10N4. But it seems there could be two Mimics actually, Mimic 2 or M2 being more advanced. In a video footage, we see a Mimic serving cake, so possibly Fiona was made to be Mimic 1 and then Edwin created another Mimic, M2, to mimic and copy David. At this point, we don't know what happened to David, but it's likely Edwin lost both his wife and child and wanted to bring them back the only way that he could, through developing technology and making robots out of them. Finally, there is one other ending in which Arnold just doesn't get involved at all and drives back home, never entering the manor. As we get off the van, we can just about see another identical van parked outside the building. This displays that there were other technicians sent by Fazbear Entertainment who never made it out alive and died in horrible ways by Mimic and then were forcefully stuffed into different exoskeletons, spraying suits and costumes. Seeing the van, Arnold is instantly horrified and gets back inside his van and drives away, not wanting anything to do with this shady place, doing shady business. Just on that note, we achieve another ending. Most likely Arnold will get fired, especially as in another ending when he turns in the data diver with the communications being cut with the dispatch instantly fires him. So worst case scenario, he will get fired, or a slightly better fate, make his pay get docked and his van repossessed. It's for sure better than being traumatized by seeing Mimic and losing his life, or being stuffed into an exoskeleton, or acting as Mimic's father. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to stay tuned for more videos by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also leave a comment if you have any theories and also help a brother out with the algorithm. As always, it's been your host Star, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.